Hello everyone, it's Chuck Thunder, and here we are again for our next episode of our Let's Play series on UWO, Uncharted Waters Online. I've been showing you guys in the last few episodes on how to get to the advanced level quests in the Trade, Maritime, and Adventure line of Sager's School. We may get there today, but there was a few things I figured I might address as we're now finally getting to the progression point where we can do some of the side things that you're going to wish you had. Now, a major component of this game is storage. A lot of people find that they fill up their inventory very quickly with random items, and it's very true early on that you'll get a bunch of different items that you won't know what to do with. So, coming to the bank in your major city, here I am in Seville, you will have some options available to you. But you will notice that I click one of these options, quarters storage, and I have some things stored in this storage unit, I guess you can call it, and I have been moving a few things over. You might have watched in the last few videos how I'm doing this. Like right here I have a shipwreck map piece, and I already have a shipwreck map piece here, so I could stack it and click it and move it over, and that frees up a spot in my inventory. And you can check to see if there's any overlap and any other things that you might have. But that seems the other one, so I hit OK. It cost me a little bit of a handling fee. Can drop things in there, which is interesting because it doesn't seem like I have bought my quarters yet. It says I have quarter storage, but I haven't bought quarters. So let's see. It costs 5 million ducats to buy a quarters, and you need to have a total of level 30. So let's check to see. I mean, you'll see what's red here, what you don't reach. I did reach required fame, I did reach required level, but I just don't have the money in my pocket. But if you're unsure, you can check your character information. By total level 30, you're going to look at all three of these added together. 12 and 12 is 24, plus 9 is well over 30. So we're good there, and we have over 5,000 fame between here. So that's why those aren't red. So we need to buy the quarters. I have the money. If you don't have the money, maybe somebody could help you out. Maybe even me, if you find me in game. I'd be more than happy to give you some money, clearly. I have 648 million here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out 5 million so that I have what I need to buy my quarters. And boom, I have bought my quarters. That's another one of those challenge missions. And notice the buy quarters option is gone, and our quarter storage should have increased. You have a basic storage ability when you're in this game, but once you buy the quarters, it increases a little bit in each of the different areas. So we're going to go ahead and start doing that just to start saving me some space so I don't overuse my items here. These are really useless items. Some of them, this increases swordplay, increases frugality, increases search, increases procurement, increases procurement. You know, it's really unnecessary that you have these items on you if you're not going to use them. And in this early on, I think the only one that we may end up using may be search or frugality. So we could probably put away these procurement options away. This says eradication on it, which is good to have for when you have rats infest you. So you could use this as an item to eliminate the rats. That way, if you don't have rat poison, to get rid of them yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and put the juice to crops away. Juice to corpse. I call them just to crops. I've never bothered to read the whole word. So I'm going to put that away. Oh, before I say okay, let's just make sure I put everything else that I could away. Oh, good. Now we can put a second thing away here. These purchase orders, I could probably put them away. I could probably put away the sail paint because I don't need it like really ever until I hit the ship that I want. These observed notes, I might just put away. Cooking is something I'm going to use. Jeez, this is never easy to decide what you're going to use. I think I will just put away one of these purchase orders. I don't plan on using them anytime soon. We'll put away the spices and seasonings one because we're not likely going to find a bunch of these to stack in our inventory here. And then when we find something else, you know, that could stack like these guys that we could just keep moving over, then maybe we'll do that. I like having my tow permits on me, obviously for the reasons that I use them because I'm lazy about sailing. So that'll be good for there. We have any documents we could put away? Nope. And trade goods. Now the one catch with trade goods, if you have trade goods in your inventory, which I don't, you can't just move them over here when you're at the bank. In order to move trade goods from your inventory to the warehouse, I guess they call it, you actually have to go to your quarters. So to go to your quarters, first let me say okay, got all this item exchange costs me a little bit of money. In order to put items into your quarters, you have to go to the actual quarters themselves. And on the map, it'll be represented by this little building that looks like the quarters symbol on your bank tab, called the doorkeeper. He's right here in front of us. And from him, you can click him and get your options to either visit other people's quarters or go to your quarters. So we're going to go to quarters, and we are in our quarters. And in our quarters, we have a steward who's pretty much our way in and out, and a few other options, and a mannequin here if we want to put some clothes on him, which I just put my Justacrops away. So why don't we just go ahead and... Oh, we could put more things on a mannequin. Then I think that's another way to store more things. Just because I don't do a lot of battle, it's good to put my sword on him. Boom, done. You know, you can just put more things on your mannequin, I think, than what your storage allows you to put away sometimes. So that's another good way of reducing what's on your... Cool. Just, you know, that way you don't have to have it on you. So here you can go to your quarter storage again, and you could put things away. And I'm going to take the Justacrops off too, and I'm going to put away... this frugality thing instead, and I'm going to see if I can put the Justacrops on my mannequin. Just a corpse. Yep, and you can. And it's a way to store your items and make sure that they get no durability loss, as well as also put them away. And if you ever need to come back for this item specifically, you'll have to come inside. So, you know, there are some reasons to come in here, because if you do want to do quarter storage here, you put trade goods, you have to do it from talking to your steward. You can't do it from the bank, which means you can't be, you know, out at sea at other banks. Other options here are you could eat some food, I believe, free, which I never even bothered to notice this, so that's good to know. Free food. Don't go to the tavern if you can come here. Displaying ornaments, if you had ornaments to display, which I don't. Skill books, I don't know much about skill books right now. Setting aids. Once you have enough aids, at least of 2, you could set aids to stay here while they're not with you traveling, or you could give them to other roles. And once we get to that level, maybe I could show you. Also, you have your quarters information. Here you can see how many slots you have of each of the different types and how much of them are filled. And I think there's a mannequin option here. No, I don't see it. But anyways, we have the mannequin. You can go to redesign plan, and you could choose a different kind of design. As you level up and get different ranks and stuff, you'll get different redesign options. And they increase your stored ability and the number of possible visitors that can come to your bank, to your quarters. So here I don't have much of a choice. I'm not level 35. I don't have 10,000 fame. I'm not the 8th Knight level, which again, as you do the storylines and do questing and gain more fame, this should increase. And then you would go to redesign plan, or redesign prep once you've chosen one, and you can start working on it daily. You can only do one upgrade a day to start increasing your steps towards the new upgrade for your quarters. You could also change your steward here if you want to change what he looks like. Mr. Fancy, Mr. Regular, and a woman. I like Mr. Fancy. Oh, it's going to cost us 30,000, but sure, whatever. Now we got a fancy steward. He's taller too, and less bald. So there we go. And that's pretty much quarters, basically, and how much it costs. Remember, you got to have 5 million, 5 million ducats, which... if you're really struggling to get the 5 million, please reach out to somebody in game. Reach out to me, Gonzo Rivera, Chuck Thunder, Charles Thunder. I'll gladly donate 5 million for you. Anyway, so that's quarters for you. Do not miss out on that opportunity to use quarters, because quarters are going to really increase your storage abilities, and I know early on that is a big deal. So, some of you are probably wondering about this private farm situation. Once we get to that level, I can show you how to get a farm early on and start using it. Right now, we're not at that point, but farms are a good way to get you continuous goods that you could use for your own crafting or selling or whatever you might do. Early on, there's a lot of options as to what you can do with your farms, but we're not there yet. Do I have any goods on me? No, I said that no. So anyways, so that's the first thing I wanted to show. Second I wanted to show was joining a community company. Now, there's a lot of people here. I think people are selling a lot of things recently because of the new update. There's a lot of new items people are interested in trying to acquire and sell. But here you can come to the company section. You can either create a company, join a company, publicly recruiting. So some pay to be publicly recruited, excuse me, and you can view companies that exist. Now, back when I used to play, FUB was the one that I used to be a part of, and it's literally the only rank 10 Spanish uh, company at the moment. But there are others. One of my old ones here, in case you're curious and you're looking for a really good one. Let's see. I feel a sneeze coming on. Woohoo! Oh, hopefully everyone's ears are okay for that one. Jesus. All right. Let's see. I don't see my old one. Is it still here? Hmm. I don't see it right now. It's a lot of companies. So obviously, at Global Traders, that was the one I used. That was a pretty decent one that I was a part of for a while, but it's been going downhill since there was a falling out between people. But that's a decent one to get into if you want to talk to some people in that one. Otherwise, you can go for one of these higher ones, or you could just join one of uh, the publicly recruiting ones. I have one that I'm in mind with that I want to go join in Amsterdam. So this is specifically all Seville-based companies. You can go to each major city and join different ones. Um, it's up to you uh, how you want to function with each of these guilds slash companies. You can go to whatever nation that you prefer. All right. So another thing that I did while you were gone, besides leveling and getting to all the advanced quests, I had been discovering ports. I went to the north and got a whole bunch of these ports. Now there's some I'm missing. I'm missing like Dublin and Manchester and a few others here, but I do want to go back to here because the one I want to join is in Amsterdam, and I also want to start exploring some of these. But a reason why I really went up here, I had a quest that took me to London, which was one important quest to complete in order to get to the past the intermediate quest line. But I wanted to unlock Calais here in France, and the reason why I did that is because sailing from Seville or any of these other cities all the way around the peninsula up to London and up to here is a very time-consuming ordeal. And there is a way around it, but you need to unlock Calais first by visiting it. Once you've visited Calais by actually sailing to Calais and then returning back to this area, there is an area in Marseille in which of Marseille, France, in the southern portion of France, that you can then sail from Seville to Marseille, get on a carriage, and take the carriage from Marseille to Calais and be able to cut right through the continent. You can only do this when you have empty goods, I believe, in your cargo. You can't have any cargo, and you can get to Calais almost instantly. Um, and it costs a little bit of ducats, but again, if you're doing some collection of money as you go, you should be okay to afford it. But I wanted to show this as an example because I want to get to Amsterdam to show you how to join a company, and I figured this was also a good opportunity to show you how to use the carriage from Marseille to Calais. Oh, I've been summoned by the Royal Castle, so you guys get to see this too. Royal Castle, here we come. Probably to get some more port permits, or if not port permits, at least a court rank. I don't recall which of the two things say that, but since we're also on our way to Amsterdam, I just realized this is a good chance to talk to Mercator to learn about how to do uh, charting. And it's not something I'm going to do this early, but something I wanted to at least get out of the way so you guys are familiar with who to go to. So anyway, so he's telling me I've unlocked the African coast of the west. So I got the Western African coast port permit. So it's new places I can go. Always good. Here's another thing. Whenever you're in Seville and you have spare money, I love to do this and this is not just Seville, but any major city you're in, whether it's London, Marseille, or Venice. Come in and invest. Spend, the chunk of money that it takes to invest in your city because you will get a boost in trade fame. And right now it's a 100% boost weekend. So I got 26 instead of 13. So that's a good deal to do while you're visiting. Be sure to make sure that you have done that every so often. And also be sure to report your discoveries because it's another way to really gain a lot of fame rather quickly. We're also going to be discovering more towns and such, so doing that would be helpful. Um, all right, so before we travel and we look for more places, and it's also a double weekend, I want to make sure that my character is not a trade person. Good, he's an adventurer, which means I'm going to get more experience for doing adventure quests and adventure activities. And we're going to then go to our port, and we are going to sail to Marseille. So I can show you how to use that. We already did this. So we could use the carriage. Make sure I have enough food. Shouldn't be too much. It's more than enough. Oh, by the way, I painted my sails and put on a few other equipments. And we're going to go to Marseille. I'm auto-sailing it because it just takes time. Regardless, this level. And we'll start using our skills. And we are on our way. So, I also, as I've been doing this, been getting these charms. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of these. We'll do the 30% for 1 hour because we're going to be doing a little bit of sailing here. And once we get up there, hopefully I remember I'm going to use this acquired fame by 30% for 1 hour too. I don't really, you could use this too now if you want to get the 50%, but 50% now versus 50% later experience-wise, I don't know if it really matters that much that you use it as a lower level or higher level, but save them if you don't feel like you're in a rush to level up as fast as possible, especially if you're doing like power leveling by buying and selling trade goods in Seville. But fame is always good to use at whatever level when you're doing it, especially when you're just discovering discoveries and handing in discoveries. So we'll do this when I go pick up discoveries up in northern Europe. So anyways, you know what I probably could have done? This is those things where you think about multitasking. I probably should have gotten a few extra good trade goods so I can convert them so I can start getting this cooking skill up. Because I told you I was going to show you how to do cooking and how to really level that. But I think, like I said, it doesn't start until you get to cooking level 3. Keep on grinding those food milling skills to get to level 3. Now's a good time to do it because we're at 100% weekend, so you should get there really quick. Give it a day or two, or not even a day. Just give it like an hour or less, and you'll be cooking level 3. And then you can start grinding pigs and farro and making foods with pigs. Very helpful. In the meantime, I wanted to show you the basics again in between before I show you the major quest lines and Sagers. The major quests in each of the different categories are pretty time consuming, a little difficult, and quite hard if you're not familiar with how to get around it. Specifically in the maritime quests, you might not have a very strong ship to do some of the quests. You might feel like you're underpowered. One of the things I will recommend is either join with somebody else doing it and or get an Amulet of Sun. Now, you might have noticed I have one, or I don't have one. No, I don't have one. Unless if I do, let me see. Inventory. Yep, I do have one. Okay, it's equipped. Gives me +1 to archaeology. That's not the important part. The important part is that it gives the effect of scorching attack while you're sailing. If you're in battle and you use this item, it'll immediately damage all of the ships in the fleet that you're battling and light them on fire and continually do damage to them. So it'll blast them for a bunch of damage and then burn them. It is the best way to kind of grind past these maritime quests. And one of the quests you will do will be to like destroy a lot of ships in a certain amount of time, and it's going to just go faster if you have it. Now, Amulet Suns are not cheap, especially to early gamers, because they cost a minimum 20 million. That's the cheapest I've seen them go for, and 25 million is the average, and that's what I paid. So I would definitely suggest stocking up on at least 1 or 2 of them early on, because you will burn through them quickly if you have the millions to do it. If you don't, again, reach out. Somebody will probably spot you for it if you ask. I mean, if people are hoarding millions and they're not spending the billions and billions every day, there's really no rush. Like they can help you. There's no push for their money. I have 668 million, and I don't even know what to do with it right now with this character. I had over 668 million on another character, and I just gave it to this one so that I could, you know, be able to do the things I'm supposed to in this game without having to grind for money. Because grinding for money in this takes a long time. So that's why I suggest having that having the Amulet of Sun, because money is a thing. Anyways, by the way, if you're interested in helping people out in game, you can reach out to people in chat. I like to, do that from time to time, and people are willing to do that. Here's a guy. He's already grinding a little bit through his trade levels. I love to look at people's ships and see what they're up to. I didn't click Barcelona, did I? If I click Barcelona, then that's not a big deal. Did I click Barcelona? No, we're still departing to Marseille. This isn't Marseille. This is Barcelona, so it just takes you on a path as if you were going to Barcelona. Now, the ships I've gotten from the quests that I was doing, you'll get one of those challenge mission or those rewards. The ships you get are sloops in each of the different categories. So, trade sloop, battle sloop, cruise sloop. Each of them have their bonuses. A trade sloop has the most cargo, battle has the most cabin space and the most cannons, and the adventure is like somewhere in between. Has a little bit more, double the amount of cannons, a little bit less than half, 184 to 246, so a little bit less cargo space, but a reasonable amount of people to carry with you. So it's really just a matter of preference about what you prefer in the moment. I like using the cruise sloop because not only does the ship hold information change, but so does the ship performance. You'll get different horizontal and vertical sails for each, and the fastest of them all is the cruise sloop. Oh.
Here's your reminder. Buy yogurt.
Yep, that's what I gotta do today. Anything else, Alexa? Yeah, buy yogurt.
This is a reminder. Buy cucumbers.
And buy cucumbers. Sorry guys, gotta get to the store at some point. So, now that you guys know what my plans are for the day, once I show you guys how to get through to Calais here and get to Amsterdam and join a quest and show you Mercator, that's what I'll be doing today. Alright, we're almost to Marseille. Not a lot. So these loops are very quick. Like this whole entire trip took 6 minutes, supposedly. I talked for 6 minutes, and we've made it to Marseille. Maybe 7 minutes. Excuse me. I keep touching my microphone. And 7 minutes. Okay, so prove me wrong. 7 minutes. A sloop is pretty quick for these things. You don't feel like you're wasting too much time sailing on sloops. That's why I use them early game, at least until I get the Sambuc in the adventure quest line, which is something I hope I could do soon. But according to the quest lines, it might require a little bit of skill, and I might have to show you how to do that without using help from other people, which will be a little difficult, so I'll show you how to do that later. Anyways, commercial district gets you relatively close, and you're going to open up the map and you're going to go to the carriage. And once he walks to the carriage, you're going to click the carriage. Well, South China cultural trends are presently in style in Marseille, which means you're going to have bigger sales for those East Asian goods in Marseille if you're willing to travel here with them. Alright, so go to the charioteer, take ride carriage, and this will drive you to Paris. If you haven't been here already, which I already have just for the sake of trying to unlock this all so I have this information known for you, you'll get a little discovery card for Paris. And then you got to go back to the carriage person again, which should be right here. And you're going to say ride the carriage again, but this time you can choose between Marseille and Calais. I'm going to go to Calais, which costs 62,000 to do, and 2 tow permits. Be sure to get tow permits. And now we're in Calais. Now we're up in the northern portion of Europe. And that's why I wanted to unlock this, because it was a lot faster than sailing. Now that we're in Calais, if you need to buy things from here, like later on in the game, you might want to be able to get some of the trade goods from here to do some grinding for food, you can come here first empty-handed, get the items you need that are farthest away, and sail back and pick up the items you need on the way back, rather than having to sail twice. So it's one of those time savers altogether. All right, so now that we made it here, we can hop on our boat. Let's make sure that we have enough trade goods or enough provisions, which we should. We only sailed 7 days. I like to stock up a little bit more. And this we can't auto-nav because we haven't been to this place before, right? It's not anywhere nearby. I mean, I could auto-nav to London, but there's a few places along the way that we're going to hit up as we go. So we're going to set sail, and we're going to sail right to Amsterdam. I could hit up the other places on my own and not show you the video for it. It's not a big deal. So if you're confused about where you are because you've never been here before, obviously use your surveying and you'll see your map shape and the little arrow pointing in the direction where you're going. And I'm going to go ahead and use my skills, start training them. There we go. Now we're on our way. Now, if you are a character who started up here, obviously this is kind of all like in reverse to you. In order to get down to the southern part of Europe, you're going to want to be able to unlock this too. So at some point you'll have to sail around, unlock Marseille, and then be able to do the trip from Calais to Marseille pretty quickly if you need to go down to, say, Seville faster. And I find that you often want to be in Seville because Seville is like the main hub in this game for the majority of sailing purposes and majority of the part of this game. So being able to have access to the southern portions of Europe early on is good. You just got to make sure you reach the appropriate levels to unlock the port permits for those areas. If you're starting up in England, you're going to get them at each stage of your fame and exploration and storyline. So be sure to do that if you're from England or Amsterdam, so that you can get there early on, because you'll be there often. And just like for when you're in Spain, you're going to come up often to the Northern Europe section as well. So it doesn't hurt to unlock these places as soon as you can. And I mean, I don't need to come to Amsterdam right now. Nothing is telling me I need to come here, but it's a good place to be when you are doing some of the quest lines. If you're doing different kinds of skills other than cooking, you might find that casting is really good here, or sewing is really good here for fabrics and such. Whatever it might be, I don't know the other quests, the other skills very well, but I do know that when you do have certain skills, that these areas up here might make more sense to grind those skills because you have all the materials you need in, say, Amsterdam and Groningen and a few other cities up here. So we are going to get to Amsterdam, and I will show you how to join a company. I'm going to request to join a company that I'm already familiar with, so I'm going to hit Company District. Got our new discovery. And now I'm going to click the Company Administration's Office, which I just realized how terrible of a location this is, so I'm going to go to the square. The Company District does not place you next to the company office. So I clicked a different port to transport us there a little bit faster. Anyways. Notice the Christmas trees, guys. It's close to that holiday season. Okay, I have gone and forgotten all of my languages, just so you know. So I am now using body language to attempt to communicate with people. So if you fail like that I did there, you'll want to keep hitting that until your options pop up here. If you do not have vigor, be sure you have vigor food to get that back up so you can communicate with people. Because the worst part would be not having enough vigor to communicate with the bartender to increase your vigor. So be sure to have vigor food. Alright, so we're going to join a company here. So we're going to view companies, and I'm going to join the one that I'm interested in, the one that I've been doing. It's called Rise Trading Company. I'm going to see if I can join this one. Details. And then here we go. Director is Kerpa. He's been wonderful. There's a Discord in which that if you wanted to speak with people within this too, you may be able to do that. I'm joining him because he's starting a brand new company, and it's a relatively new company, and if you're somebody who wants to help out and help other people, this is a very good and friendly company. So we're going to request entry. We're going to say it's Chuck Thunder because he's familiar with me. Okay. It's Chuck Thunder. Okay. So we sent our request, and then once we get accepted, we'll get a little email saying we've been accepted. I don't know that Kerpa is in the game right now. Am I friends with Kerpa? No, I'm not. Uh, I could even send him a friend request. Character name doesn't exist probably because he's not in game. So anyways, when he does log in, he can accept me, and then we'll join a company. And then I can show you some more of the benefits of companies like shopping, dropping things off in the company, being able to be a part of the company, what you do to help the company out, some of the things. I'm not familiar with all of them. So anyway, so that's one of the major things. Before we go too far, I know that I don't have the ability to communicate in their language here, which I believe the language here is called Nordic or Dutch. No, Dutch. They speak Dutch here. So West African languages are good to have too. But anyway, so I need, before I run out of vigor, boom. All right, guys. Right now, there is a new release, a new update to the game that involves the Seven Wonders, I believe, or like Wonders something. I don't know. It's some sort of storyline that you could partake in, and it's one of those ones in which it gives you like different stories and to unlocked and some history and some discoveries along, and you could partake. Again, I think early on some of these stories just don't seem like they're appropriate for your level of skill. You might want to focus on doing your major cities ones first. So in my case, this will be for Seville or Spain, but there's one for everybody. So if you're interested in doing this, don't click not enough like I did and just try to get through it. Just go ahead and get through, do the quest line like you want. You can always, look this up in the tab up top. There'll be a Book of Wisdom thing that'll tell you where to go and what to do. A lot of new things came out in this game. I'm not familiar with the new updates, but if you wanted to, you can go to, where's it, Book of Wisdom, and now you see your information here. Again, I know nothing about this, nothing at all. There's 2 rank 7 discoveries that you can get for doing this. Fears when you're in the tower did remind you in this day is true story, so this children's fairy tale the truth or not. I have no idea. I don't know anything. So, not something for me. I don't know. By the way, let's check our challenge mission thing. What did we unlock here? I have Hanseatic Seals, Ambrosia, Stomach Medicine, Tributes for Brigands, which are always good to have, I personally think, just in case you get attacked and you want to get out of battle. Tow Permits, I will take. What else we got resting in here? And a Golden Eagle. So, I'm going to go ahead and take these Brigands, too, just in case, because I have a feeling we might be going to some scary waters soon. But they help you get out of battle, so when you're in battle you use those and you come out of them. Oh, before I forget, and I go off camera, I'm going to have to use that. Don't forget. Alright. I forgot to order my food. So go ahead and order your food. Get the vigor back up. Don't get drunk. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and treat my sailors too. Is this our barkeep lady? Yeah. Well, look at that. I got my body language skill up just trying to talk to her. Congratulations, we're friends now. Alright. Now to show you Mercator. Now Mercator, I believe, has his own estate. There it is, down over here. So we're going to go to Mercator's estate. Now, like I said, this was a little pop-up here that when I was leaving, it says, hey, Mercator's been looking for you. They look for you after a certain level or certain fame, in which that he'll assign you the task of charting certain zones of the North Sea first. So, talk to him, ask about sea region investigations. You could also see if he's got any skills you want. I have no space for these skills if I don't already have them, so there we go. But sea region investigations, we're going to ask about it. And notice it says all this stuff. I'm going to listen, and the little red exclamation point lets you know that it's part of the quest line that you're trying to work with him. Um, and you can click each of these things on how to get these maps and investigate them, and what does it take to get them. But I just like to keep on, you know, skipping through this, but I can explain it a little bit faster than he can. All right, is there anything you didn't understand? Please ask me again. And you could go through it again, in case you didn't. I don't know if I missed anything. I'm just going to listen to all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Anything else you want to know? I don't think. He's really just telling you on how the charting works. And charting is relatively simple, and once I get out of this conversation, I'll show you how to do it briefly. I'm not going to actually do anything. I just want to show you how to access the charting page and where you would go to do this and how it works. So that was pretty much it. Now you go to see region investigation, and you'll see this whole screen goes black. This is to tell you that you're now part of the storyline. Again, just go speaking through them. You'll get a reward, by the way, for doing the very first one, I believe, right away. He's basically telling you he wants a better charting of the world. And the best way to chart the rest of the world is to get measurements and stuff and do all these other things while you're out at sea to help him get a better understanding of the geography of the world from the sea. And he's basically having you chart it, map it out for him. And you don't see any of this process. It's just a random tasks that you're going to do to help him out. So to perform investigations, you will need a surveying skill for coordinate measurement and a recognition skill for actual visual investigations. If you don't have these skills yet, get a quadrant at the craftsman for surveying and a simple telescope at the item shop to perform recognition. If you want to know more information about investigations, go visit him and ask about sea region investigations, which I've already done. So right now he's looking forward to me doing the investigation in the North Sea. So this is how charting works. You're going to go to, where is it? Charts. Okay, it's underneath the journal. Charts. And here, he's expecting you to chart the North Sea, this area right above you. It's just this section, right north of Amsterdam. It includes all these cities here, which I should, go learn them. But there are other seas. There's the Baltic Sea, there's the Bay of Biscay, there's the Jutland Peninsula Open Sea, and so on and so forth. But he wants to do the North Sea specifically, so we need to find that. Again, it's highlighted in green because it's part of a quest. And then you're going to click Research. Okay, this will commit this sea region to be part of your research. And when you do that, you'll see the investigation things you need to do in order to start unlocking the percentages to complete the entire charting investigation. So if you use recognition skill at these coordinates 942357 and successfully discover the location, which it won't be a discovery card, but it'll be an investigation at this area, you'll get 30% completion on this map. And that's the first thing. Once it does that, it'll tell you how much more percentages you need to keep going, and more investigation entries will pop up. More investigation entries such as recognition at different coordinates, maybe fishing so many number of times and collecting fish in the region, maybe sailing in the region for a certain number of days, fighting a number of ships, etc. It's up to you what you want to complete, so long as you complete enough of the tasks in order to get to 100% completion. Once you do, the region has then been charted. You will speak to somebody at the archives in any major city, doesn't matter who, any scholar at the archives at a major city, and you will get rewarded with adventure points for having done it. You'll get fame and experience, I believe, for it. And each time you do one, you get progressively more fame and experience. Early on, you don't get much, but when you're really low level, it helps, especially when you get 100% boosts. I suggest doing these when you do have some sort of boost, 50% item or a 100% boost on a weekend. It's up to you. But when you do these, you will get a lot of experience and fame. Early on in early game, with small ships, I don't recommend it because it'll take you a lot longer if you have a better ship. Sloops are fine if you really want to do it. I don't recommend doing it in a sloop if you don't want to, but sloops are good. Maybe the Sambuc when you finally unlock that, when you finally finish the quests of Sagers. So Sagers is a good place to go to get your start, get your items, get your ship that you could use to do the North Sea or any of them. We're here. Maybe I'll do the North Sea just so I can. And then when you're finished getting the North Sea only, come back and speak to Mercator, and then Mercator will give you a reward for it. And then he'll send you on your way to do the rest of the charting for all the regions, and you don't need to check in with him. Again, you check in with him. I don't know if you have to check in with him frequently after so many number of times, but you will get rewards periodically if you do speak with him in between. I haven't checked with him on my main in a long time, and I've done maybe all of the North Sea, maybe portions of all of the Mediterranean, some of the Atlantic, and some of the African coast, and I don't recall going back. So it might be one of those things to do, periodically, but not after every single time you chart a new sea. Maybe after you do each major region, maybe check it out and see what he gives you for completing like all of Northern Europe. But anyways, that pretty much sums it up. You're going to do this. You're going to get adventure experience. You're going to get fame. You're going to get rewards. It's up to you what you want to do. They're just going to make sure that, here's another just extra information you want to see to tell you about the wind speed, current speed, and all that stuff. You learn more about that, obviously, when you chart the city, or chart the region, I should say. And then here's all if you want to click this, the world map and map creation progress can be viewed. Everything that's blue is something you haven't done or isn't committed to some sort of ability to be charted yet. So this one here is the one that we have selected, so that's why it's green. And once we start doing it, they'll change color and become more visible. Show charted lands. I don't have any charted, so there you go. 74 available regions to me at the moment. Or maybe not at the moment, it doesn't look like 74, but there might be total 74 sea regions to chart, and this will be 1 out of 74 if I complete this one. So hopefully that helps you guys out with some of the little side note things to do in the game. Like I said, once you're up here, this is a good opportunity to start the stuff. Like, don't leave the region just to come back if you don't want to. I might take this character, get a lot of the port discoveries while I'm up here that are available to me, and start doing some of the charting in the North Sea while I'm here, just because it'll help get my fame up and my experience up now before I go back down to the Sager's quests, and that's something I need to look into about how to do some of those major quests at the end. But hopefully this was informational and very helpful to you. Be sure to check the videos that I have done before if you have any questions. There's a lot of information there that I didn't go over here, and if you have any other further questions, be sure to leave comments in the description, and I will answer them as best as I can, or maybe somebody from the community can answer you there or in game. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, everyone. Thanks again.